Welcome to the Webby and O'Neill channel. Today with us, Jamie Michael Moore. Top Man United fan. Love you being here. So, Webby?
Yeah, going to crack straight on. We just spoke previous, Jamie, about the United game Saturday at Everton.
Yeah.
Must-win game.
Yeah.
Being serious, we would have took a point before the game, but we got the 3 points and it took a bit of pressure off Ollie.
It has, yeah. And, there's a lot of talk about, would that have been Ollie's sort of guillotine moment if we'd have lost that game? But I'm not sure. I think even though a lot of managers, if they was in the same position as Ollie, probably would have gone, even maybe before now. I think they've got a bit of faith in him. I'm a little bit on the fence, I've got to be honest. I think he's a legend and I love him to bits. But I don't know if it is a strong enough character. I don't think it's about, intelligence in football and stuff like that. I think it's, does he demand the respect of the players, and that goes a long way, I think, as a manager. So I don't honestly think he'd have gone if we'd have lost. I think he'd have got a couple more games out of it. But yeah, it's definitely sort of pushed him up a little bit and a bit safer.
When you say demand the respect of the players, have you got anyone in mind?
I not got anyone in mind in terms of the way I think we should play football. I think, someone like Zidane, mate, I don't think that would be a good fit for us, but maybe he would get the players' respect initially. So.
But it never, and from a respect point of view, do the players, that's
my
is there a player? Is the players you see?
That's my point.
What aren't giving him the respect.
And that's what my belief is. My lad always is complaining about Ollie. I'm going, listen, the players have got to take responsibility for the performances, 100%. When they get out there on the pitch. I love Bruno's attitude. Fernandes goes on the pitch. He's only just come, he's pretty new. He ain't afraid to go on there and scream and shout and give someone a I mean, ideally, you'd have someone a little bit deeper in the team with that sort of attitude who can control the game. But I think, Maguire's the captain at the moment. I don't think he's vocal enough. I don't think he's strong enough character. I think you need someone like Bruno, and like I say, he's not in the ideal position because he's a little bit further up the pitch. But I'd put the armband on him because I think he'd demand a bit more respect on the pitch.
Your lad, absolutely nuts for United. Yeah. He's going up the wall. We was just discussing before off camera. He's going up the wall to get inside Old Trafford. He's been going since he was 4. You've been going with him. You're no different than me and Webby. Now, it's how does he see Pogba in this team and yourself? I mean, because you're speaking for him now.
Yeah, no, exactly. I think we're both of the same opinion. Pogba's an amazing player when he turns up. And for me, to be sort of the elite level of world class, you're turning up game in, game out, and he's not consistent enough for me, Pogba. Probably the way I view him is he's very temperamental. He'll have a great game because he's under the caution, people are criticising him. But for me, that's not good enough. You don't just turn up because you're getting criticised. You turn up because you want to play for United and you love this. You love wearing that shirt and you want to perform week in, week out. So the week after they'll turn up and I'll go, hopefully now we'll get a bit of form, and then it's just flat again. Yeah. So
not consistent.
It's great having him in the team because he's one of them players where you go, he'll probably turn it on today, Pogba. But like I say, I think players like that should be doing it week in, week out.
You look at Jamie, he's a World Cup winner, and people say to me, well, Cleberson's won the World Cup, but we know what Paul can do. Yeah. And it's frustrating when you see him give the penalty away to Arsenal, come out with a stupid comment by saying, well, my defending ability is not really that good. You're a world-class player, you should be able to do a lot of things, and it's frustrating.
That's an excuse.
That he doesn't.
Of course, it is. In them areas, you don't go in for them sort of challenges in the 18-yard box. It's just not done.
That's the frustration because he's using as I see it, it's an excuse.
Yeah.
So when you compare professional dedication, give us your views. I look at De Gea. When he came here, he was under proper pressure because of his ball going out and all ability. And he dedicated himself. And recently, we all know last year, he was missing the ball, letting goals in. He's professional. he knows his
consistency. Look
and
at
then he's
Maguire.
turned it. No, but he's turned it round. Maguire's just started to turn it round.
He's just had it as well, where he's had a few games, and people were talking about take him out of the team, give him a bit of a break. That's not the right thing to do.
No,
I think leave him in there, let him ride the storm, and then they build their own confidence themselves. If you bring them out, it's going to take them a long time to rebuild it. Then
you can't replace class. Form, you can go up and down, but that class shines through.
Yeah, definitely.
Right, just going on to, we spoke about it before, the three of us, before we started doing this. Mason Greenwood, obviously, he's at the scene last year, got into the England squad, done a stupid thing, which all can do, but then there's more stories coming about now, he's not getting enough sleep, and he wasn't involved in. What's your take on him?
Well, the thing is, he's a young lad, isn't he? And this is new to him. Yeah. He's sort of, you imagine what you was like when you was 18, fresh out of school.
Yeah.
You know,
Jamie, you want to know what we were doing at 18?
There you go, the world at your feet, you know what I mean? Yeah. Endless pot of dough. It's not a good mix and a good balance, I don't think. Maybe this has gone on now over the last sort of 10, 15 years where players are getting paid massive amounts of dough and they're getting put on that pedestal earlier. Yeah. Maybe there should be something where the clubs are guiding the youngsters a little bit better.
Like they did with Giggs.
Exactly, yeah. You know. And that's what I'm talking to about a strong manager. You know, you can't see Ole doing some of the stories what Fergie did, where he was going around to these council houses, dragging the lads out on a Friday, saying, "What the f*** here?" You know what I mean? Yeah. So
but the manager's not allowed out of his house.
Yeah,
but would he do it if he was allowed out of his house? I can't see, like you're just saying, Solskjaer going to Mason's house when you can do Fergie and go to Sharpie's house or Giggs' house. And
like I say about respect, it's like the players respected Fergie enough. They would have got up and go out of the house, whereas now they'd be like, what are you doing here? You know what I mean? Yeah. So you sort of knew something else was going on behind the scenes when Greenwood, because he's in great form and he should be playing. So you sort of knew there was something going on, and I'm sure he'll work it out. You know, like I say, he's a young lad, but he seems like a level-headed kid. And then once he realises his mistakes, he's out and out United, and I think he'll be at the club. You know, we was talking before about Wayne Rooney and how he's left that legacy, and it's going to take someone 15, 20 years to get them amount of games. I'm thinking someone like him will be a career player, like, you know, your Ryan Giggs. United,
where do you see him going this year? Shaky start in the league.
Shaky start, but everyone's shaky this year, aren't they? Yeah. So we get put under a magnifying glass because we're United, whereas every other team's in the same position this year. It's weird, you know, it's a strange atmosphere, no crowds. So everyone's in a sort of unrealistic situation, what they're used to normally. But I think saying what I've been saying for the last couple of seasons, we're really good against the good teams because we find more opportunities because they're trying to beat us. Yeah. Whereas the teams who clam up, you know, they've got all the players in their own half. We're not good enough at that tic-tac passing, breaking the defence through. A couple of times we did it, you know, against Everton, and it was unbelievable. There was something like 16 passes leading up to the second goal, and that's the sort of tactics you need to break down the lesser teams who are just going to defend against you. So we've been really good against the good teams, but we definitely need to improve against the lesser teams.
We spoke recently to Phil Neville, and he said he thinks anyone can win this league. Sat here now, Leicester City, top of the league.
Yeah. Who just replaced Southampton, who 9 months previous got beat 9-0 at home against Leicester, who never set the manager. So he's probably right.
And Southampton nearly got relegated last year.
And then people were talking about Leeds after the first 3 or 4 games, saying they'll get 100 points this year, and now they're talking about we might get 40 and might stay up. So it's the craziest start to a season I've ever seen. So
more goals. There's been more goals scored at this stage in the Premier League history than at any time. Yeah. So that's just telling you no one's listening. They're just all wanting to attack.
Isn't it? It's weird times, but you know, you've got to favour Liverpool again. I hate to say it, you've got to favour them because you feel like they've got a bit more room to grow. But we've got potentially a team where if we get what I've just been talking about right with the lower league, the lesser teams at the bottom half, we can keep getting the wins. We can keep getting the wins there. We'll be right up there. I really fancy us to get top 4, definitely.
Looking at obviously last year finishing 3rd, beyond our dreams after we come back lockdown. the manager wasn't backed by the owners. You know, he had his targets. It doesn't seem to get any. If you was a manager of Manchester United now, what's missing there? What would you bring in there now to move us? Not saying we're going to win the league, but to get closer to City, Liverpool. What do we need?
I think we missed too many chances in front of goal. I think that last third, you know, for me, Marshall, he's not consistent enough. He doesn't. He seems too laid back, a bit lazy. You know, you're talking about the centre forward of Man United.
Van
Nistelrooy, you know, Marshall had a great season last season. He was better than he's ever been last year. But again, as he seems like he's done a bit of a Pogba where he's gone, you know, I had a great season last year. He sort of sat back. It's a little bit too temperamental for me, and I think we're missing out on an out striker. We need, you know, Lindelof for me is not a United player. I've got to be brutally honest. I think Tuanzebe, he should be. We were talking before about that pairing in the middle. You know, Maguire and Lindelof. None of them are quick enough off the mark.
No.
You know, you have a striker who's off the mark and gone. None of them are catching him up. Whereas, you know, you look at Tuanzebe, he's right on the shoulder with him. So there's a couple of little areas. You know,
we all know the money's never going to be splashed to create quality players, two in each position.
No.
It's just the way of life. It's the way we've got to accept it. There's nothing anyone can do. I believe Ollie is creating behind the scenes like Fergie did, because he signed loads of youngsters, and we've just got to sit that out. But in the meantime, I believe to see progression this year, he's got to challenge for a trophy.
Yeah, I'd say so. And you know, Champions League is like our best form what we're in, which is crazy when you look at it. I know it wasn't
best and worst.
Best and worst, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But against the better teams, so we're always going to get better opportunities against the better teams, I feel, because of the way we're playing at the moment, especially when we play that sort of five at the back with the two wing backs.
Yeah.
We're always going to be fast on the attack. Rashford, when he's on form, one of the best players in the world.
Yeah.
But like you say, inconsistency, and but everyone's in the same boat at the minute.
I think this year, obviously last year was it 3 semi-finals. Obviously never got to a final. I think he's got to win a trophy this year, whether it's the League Cup.
Yeah.
Next round, Everton away, which is going to be hard because they'll go strong.
Yeah.
Does he have to win a trophy this year to keep his job? Whichever trophy it is, Jamie.
You'd like to think so, wouldn't you? Because, like I say, you know, it's Man United. We've got to be winning something basically every year. And like I say, just because Ollie's a legend of the club doesn't necessarily mean he gets to keep his job. It's not a default thing that he gets to keep his job. So, but I don't think he's doing as bad as some people say, but I think he should be doing better. So he's right in the middle for me. And but like you've just said before, who do you go for? You know, if we're looking at, you're never going to get a Fergie. So where are you going to go for the style of play we want, and to try and demand that respect from the players? Who do you go for?
Well, Pochettino's being mentioned, and the kid Allegra. But like you say,
we're not
give him another 18 months and see where it goes.
I think, you know, you look at when Fergie came, and he was on he was virtually on the verge of being booted himself, and then the consistency, you know, let him build a team. You need 5 years, I feel. 5 years to build.
We don't need another manager.
I don't think so. I think you need to put the onus on the players and go, listen, turn up.
Yeah, that's right. He's building a team. Now, going forward, Jamie, your profession, your boxer.
Yeah.
One tough cookie, this lad. Trust me. Yeah. One tough cookie.
Getting old now.
No, you're not getting old. You're getting in your prime.
That's right.
Your best time. Do a lot of training now.
Yeah. Training the lads busy. You know, I've got 10 fighters now. So I've been really, really lucky, to be honest. During lockdown, we've had like 6 fighters out, which been blessed really, because, you know, people haven't been as fortunate to have the fighters out and stuff like that. So been dead lucky. But and before
where are you fighting out of?
We've got Jimmy Astley. So Steve Wood, who was my manager, he runs a engineering company, and we've got a gym inside there.
Right.
So yeah, it's buzzing. The atmosphere is great in there. Got a great bunch of lads, you know what I mean? Which all the camaraderie's there. And I've got another 2 fights before. So Jack Catterall, who's mandatory to fight for the world title, which he should be fighting for in sort of April or May next year. He's fighting the 28th in London. And then Martin Murray's fighting Billy Joe Saunders for the world title the week after in London as well.
Webby was talking to me.
Yeah, we was going on about, I watched it the other night, Fight of the Year, rightly so. You've had a few, haven't you? You've had Ryan Rhodes, but the Matthew Macklin fight, that was an absolute war.
Yeah.
And you were friends.
Crazy fight.
A lot of people don't know that, but you were not best friends, but you knew of each other. Just speak us through that fight. 2006.
2006, yeah. So Matt was training with Ricky Hatton, and Ricky and Billy Graham, who trained Ricky, was real good mates of mine since being kids. Salford lads. You can see the skyline of Salford in the background there. So we'd known each other. We'd been out, had a beer and all that, had the crack, and then he was my mandatory for the British title. So in a way, it sort of set it up because, you know, pride's at stake in it. You know, you're fighting someone who you know. You never want to lose anyway. You definitely don't want to lose to someone who you know.
Yeah.
So I think that's what made it the fight it was, that stubbornness and that sort of will to win. And it sort of made us closer mates afterwards, because when you go through something like that and you know how hard it was yourself, afterwards, you have a sort of underlying respect for each other, and you know what I mean?
After the fight, how were you two after that?
So,
did you look in each other's eyes and go?
Well, Matt actually got stretchered out of the ring, so he got took straight to Salford Royal, and we had a party arranged at my house for afterwards. So I rang the missus on the way home and I said, "Listen, I'm going to have to go to the hospital and see how he is.
Yeah,
I can't.
That's what I meant. Yeah.
So go straight to the hospital. Kerry Casey's there, Ricky, Billy Graham walks in, and they all went. They all walked out. And Matt was just laying the thing in. He had like an oxygen thing on. His eyes were shut.
Yeah.
And I just sort of stood there and went, "What the f*** done there?"
Yeah.
And we just started laughing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then I sort of just went over to give him a hug and all that. "You all right?" And he said, "Yeah." He said, "Oh, we're going to be sore tomorrow."
Was you laughing because you knew he was thinking it should be you in here, not me, because I wanted to knock you out?
He was probably hoping I was.
Yeah, no, that's right. Yeah.
But like I say about that respect thing, we sort of that it was one of them fights, and this has been said a few times over the years. It doesn't really matter who won or lost, because Matt gained a lot from losing. He got a lot of experience from it, and really, it didn't matter who won. It was such a good fight to watch back, and us talking in that moment, we just knew that, like you say, people are still talking about it now, 14 years later.
Well, it's just such a.
On that night, we knew he was going. People will talk about this fight for years to come, and we're right.
You can watch it over and over again. Great fight, great to chat to you, and hopefully we'll get you back again when we've won a pot here.
Anytime you want. What we should try and do is do a pre-match one day. Get in here before the game.
We'll be doing.
We'll do that.
You and your lad.
Get my lad on.
So anyone comes messing, when we come back,
deal with this gentleman.
Deal with this gentleman and his mates. Now, please subscribe, put your likes in, and there's always a dislike button. And we'll be back on Wednesday.
We're back Wednesday.
Got a good show, what we've just put together. Thank you very much, Jamie. Absolute pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank you.